And welcome to the Kongversation. I'm fake actor Hyle Russell.
I'm fake actor Chad McCanna.
That was a great gig we had a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
I'm still waiting for the check, though. I think they must have thought that was genuine enthusiasm about the game on our part.
I think they sent it to our agents. Maybe we should get in touch with them.
I was hoping we could cut out that whole 10% deal, but
damn it. That's the way the business works, Chad.
Next time. No, so it's been an extremely eventful couple of days for us.
You don't say.
Yeah. Well, where do we start?
If you haven't seen our YouTube channel, or you're not a patron, then you might not know that we actually went to Rare 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we were there from, I think we flew out May 20th, was it? And arrived back about 5 days later. So 2 days in transit, 3 days actually in Birmingham and Twycross, and we got to tour the studio and actually play Sea of Thieves, which was a singular thrill for us.
Singular? I mean, there's many more thrills.
Well, I think it's singular means like superlative in the context that I said it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
we could argue about the semantics all we want.
Yeah, we'll dig out a dictionary later. But anyway, it was a big fun time. So for everything on that, if you're a patron, check the Patreon posts to get a hold of those episodes. If not, we will be
hang tight.
Hang tight. We'll be releasing them on our normal schedule as episode 426 and 427 of the Kongversation over the next 2 weeks after E3.
Just look forward to that, and I think you'll all really enjoy the two episodes. They total almost 5 hours when you combine them.
Right.
So,
but I think we should really skate over the typical hellish experience that is arriving in Los Angeles.
We'll have some information on that on our E3 wrap-up
information, like the hot breaking news on our bad time in LA.
People want to know. People want to see us in agony.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe there's a sense of catharsis for them.
They want to punish us. We're here to talk about a couple days later than we normally get to, but it's been a whirlwind of a trip, and we actually haven't had time to record. We've been recording lots of other stuff that you can find on our YouTube channel in the next several days. And,
and maybe in the coming weeks, depending on how many of them we record. I don't want to put any timeline promises down.
Right, because we need to decompress, too.
Right. We'll have all our videos in a closed beta soon. We've been doing a lot of really fantastic interviews with some of the folks from Rare who were here at E3. We did a really great one at the end of the day today. This is day 2 of E3 with Craig Duncan, Joe Neat, and Greg Males that went on, I think, about 30-35 minutes.
Something like that.
Yeah, we went way beyond the time that's typically allotted, but it was cool because it was like a chat with friends.
I would never assume that we're friends with.
I feel like we are, though. Honestly, it's at that point now. We've met them a number of times, and it's always a really casual relationship.
It is. I'm just very, very self-conscious about assuming I have friends. Takes me back to high school. Or junior high, really.
Yeah. Was I your only friend? Oh, junior high.
Yeah.
Junior high was a rough time for both of us.
Diddy Kong and Elliot were my only friends.
No. Okay, so let's get away from the pity party. Let's talk about the Microsoft press conference.
Yeah, so we went to the Galen Center. I kept saying Gallon Center, but it's the Galen Center.
Yeah, they hold fancy galas there, not galas.
Oh, okay.
This was it's just off of the USC campus, University of Southern California, which is strange. It's a strange choice for venue for Microsoft because just north of the LA Convention Center, they have the Microsoft Convention Center.
As our friend Amir speculated, we think Microsoft made a long-term contract deal with the Galen Center, but.
Yeah, it could be. There's literally no way to know unless you understand Microsoft's financials. So,
or you do a Google search, I'm sure, and find out.
There could be. At any rate, we went to the Galen Center.
We woke up at 4 a.m. This is.
Well, you woke up. I was up all night editing a video to be posted.
Yeah, I was. Well, I had been up 40 hours before that, getting DK Vine content done before we flew out the E3.
Yeah. So Hyle did his 2 days with no sleep before arriving in LA. Then he got about 3 hours of sleep that night.
It was the best sleep I've had.
Yeah. I started my my 2 days the day before. So we essentially traded off who would stay up for 48 hours working on stuff. And I drew the short straw. So I was up editing some video all night and encoding it because we needed to make sure that while we were under non-disclosure agreement, that the embargo would be lifted after the press conference that morning. And
so we could stop lying to our friends and loved ones. And
Janelle had no idea why I was in England.
Yeah, I just told Michelle I was having an affair.
Well, I guess that's the path of least resistance.
Yeah, at least the lawyers won't be coming after me. Well, maybe her lawyers, but...
Well, you're not married yet. Did you sign an engagement prenup? Is that a thing people do?
I'm sure it's a thing some people do.
Probably. At any rate, we had to keep everything relatively close to the vest, but we had a lot of content queued up for you. We were just making sure that everything was in order before the show started, so that way, when it was over, the idea was we could update it and flip it all public, and you guys could get a look at it. Unfortunately, YouTube had like a whole annotation thing you can't do from a mobile phone, so we had to wait till we got back to our hotel that afternoon. But despite that lag, it was a very early morning for us because while we had passes to the press event, it's still the seating is based on.
If you want to get good seats, you have to show up early.
Exactly. So,
which is what we did last year. We showed up about 6 a.m. And we got right to the front of the line. So we did that again this year. We met up with Amir and Dan from the Rare Fan community.
Yeah, Rare Fan Debase and Killer Instinct Central. And Amir is actually now doing. He's recontextualized Rare Minion as Rare Thief. Obviously, because he's thieving all those goodies, and
because he is the world's largest rare memorabilia collector.
That's right.
They were also on the trip to Rare with us a few weeks ago, so it was really nice to see them again, and especially last E3 we had Amir on the Kongversation, and long-time listeners of the show, at least for the last 365 days, should remember him. But
that's right.
Anyway, so we met up with them. But who was also in the line, Chad?
That was John from the Crow's Nest.
Yes.
Oh, are you talking about the other guy?
Well, no. I was going to bring up John from the Crow's Nest first, who is started a Sea of Thieves fan site before he even played Sea of Thieves, which is pretty damn impressive because it's putting a lot of chips in when you're not sure what your hand is going to be.
Right. And thankfully, it was cool because later on that night, and we'll get to this later, we got to be on John's crew when he first got his hands on Sea of Thieves, and that was kind of in the same sense. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. You're okay.
I'm jumping around.
But the most important thing that happened to us was our friend was back from last year, Chad, our line buddy, who we go back and listen to E3 2015 Microsoft because we'll relate the story. We relate the story there, but we met the most charming individual in the line to get into the Microsoft press conference. I talked about Cambodian snuff films last year.
That's right. That was an eye-opener.
And guess what? He was right there back with us. And
it was kind of funny because we were the very first ones there, well, along with Amir and Dan. It was kind of and John. It was like the five of us at the very front of the line, but because Los Angeles doesn't know how to do user experience on anything in the city whatsoever, basically there was no line, and anyone in a position of authority we asked just kind of said mill around. So that was a little frustrating considering.
Mill around the 360-degree circumference of this large building.
Right. And whomever is closest randomly to the staircase that we will ultimately take you in, they get to be front of the line.
Right.
Thankfully, we weren't too far off, so I think about a dozen people jumped in front of us, one of them being our line buddy. He
literally, trampled people to get in. He, crawled over them. So, he has no style. He has no grace.
I think his face.
He had a pretty funny face, too.
It was relatively humorous.
But he played Bejeweled in line then on his iPad because nobody would talk to him.
Big fan of Match 3 Puzzlers, I guess. But Honestly, I was okay with having 12 or 13 people as a buffer zone.
It was a nice safe space for us. We were able to talk with John from the Crow's Nest, who we'd never met before. We got to get to know him a bit.
It was good because last year it was a bit frustrating. The guy kept interjecting with stuff about gears and
because we were just talking about Rare, and he is one of those fans who doesn't give a shit about Rare. So he thought we were weirdos. We thought he was a weirdo.
Yeah, and, it was just a couple of weirdos passing in the night. But in the very early hours, probably when our tolerances were low. I don't want to be overly snarky. I mean,
no, of course, I'm sure he's a lovely individual who has lots of redeeming qualities outside of lines to major press events.
At any rate, enough about that guy. It was cool getting to talk to John, but it was a bit awkward because Dan, Amir, Hyle, and I had gone to Rare not 3 weeks earlier, and we were still under non-disclosure agreement for another 4 or 5 hours. So while we were talking with John the entire time, we couldn't say anything about what we knew, about what we had played, and obviously we didn't really know what the trailer was going to be.
We had no idea.
Yeah.
Just assumptions, but even then... So yeah, I actually brought my Sea of Thieves messenger bag to use this during the show. So the problem is it had the new logo on it, which couldn't be revealed until the trailer. So I kept it. I was basically had it turned around, and it like kind of hugs your body, so you could not see the logo.
Yeah.
So I had it flipped around, and just was like, I can't wait till I can flip this around. And
but similarly, I think John from the Crow's Nest, he wasn't. It wasn't known that he was going to be there as well.
He couldn't tell people he was coming to this.
Yeah,
so.
and so he had a shirt on with this really badass logo for his website that there's like a crow embedded in the words.
He outdid our polos that we had designed from James Guy. They're still very nice polos, but that was like a serious like logo.
It was like a professionally designed logo. It was really awesome. It was, better.
Ours are just letters.
Yeah, ours are two fonts, Couture and Avenir. Yeah, for you font aficionados out there.
We know you're out there. We know you listen to this show for two reasons: the Donkey Kong universe and the greater Rare community, and fonts.
They're very impressed with our kerning. No, but John was sort of covering his shirt up with his hands and backpack the entire morning.
So there's a lot of deception going on in line from all the parties involved. So it was great. It was like a murder mystery.
Yeah. All we were missing was the Orient Express. So eventually we got all the way through, but it was cool. We were just kind of talking about how enthusiastic we've all been about Rare since they sort of relaunched the studio last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then what we were hoping to see in Sea of Thieves without letting John know that we had already got our hands on it.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and of course, being here in person for these events, it can be exhausting, like getting up at such ridiculous hours when you're already jet lagged, and roaming around Los Angeles, which Chad and I have never had the best experiences with.
That's a little.
But you feed off that adrenaline rush you get then, because it is truly something special to be there in person, and it's hard to anything you're not personally experiencing. It's so hard to keep up with E3 when you're actually out here. Like, I still haven't seen footage of this new Mario Party game, but more on that in the Nintendo episode whenever we get to that.
Right. So, I feel so woefully behind everyone listening to this knows more about everything than I do,
except Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. We got the scoop on that one.
So, we sit. We don't have. I remember last year, we got on camera behind Phil Spencer when he was talking.
That's right.
St. Phil Spencer. And I was counting the rows, the number of seats in the rows, and I was like, oh, we're not going to be on camera this year. And I was like, oh, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it was I was kind of disappointed because it's kind of fun to we're going to be on Spike TV for a split second.
Yeah. I have an intern at work this summer he's interning to be a project manager, which is kind of interesting. He's been a lot of fun to work with, but when I told him where I was going, I've been a little cagey about it at work. Been telling people I'm going to California, but he's a young guy, and I said I'm going to E3.
You like him young?
And I basically told him I was going to E3. I'm just skating past whatever the hell Hyle just said.
Shut up, Chad.
He's my intern, you idiot. I do have some professional standards, so don't talk ill of my intern. That's not cool.
I'm sure he's a lovely guy.
He is. At any rate, he was really excited that I was going to E3, and I was telling him, last year I got to meet all these really great people from the studio that I love, and I showed him a screenshot from there where I said, "Look, that's the head of Xbox." And that's us right behind him, and it blew his mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand what you mean when you say you were kind of hoping for the same thing, just because it's cool.
It's just the small little ego stroke, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but the funny thing was, we were actually sitting there. We were actually getting into a lot of the games they were showing before they even got to Rare. It wasn't just us sitting there saying, "Okay, where's Rare? Where's Sea of Thieves? Where's Rare?" It was like, "Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool."
Yeah. Well, it was neat because we were sort of looking at everything or at least I was, through the prism of Sea of Thieves. So when they would announce things like the new matchmaking services on Xbox Live, I was thinking, ooh, that's going to be good to connect our crews. And
it was funny because when they showed the Forza trailer, which takes place in Australia, they started with the ocean and they showed islands, and I was like,
yeah, great water.
Great water, yeah. Is this Sea of Thieves? What? And it was, and it quickly, when the kangaroos started hopping, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
It looked nothing like Sea of Thieves.
No, it was very photorealistic. That's what all the Forza games are. That's kind of what they're going for. But that's definitely not Sea of Thieves. So
the water's pretty photorealistic to a degree.
To a degree, it's like a stylized kind of photorealism. It's a little bluer than I think you would normally see in the ocean. The Sea of Thieves water.
The Caribbean has blue water, Chad.
Not when you get.
They put Kool-Aid packets in there.
Yeah, it's like blue 33.
Yeah. It's just what they do. It's their culture.
It's delicious. We shouldn't judge. But no, Sea of Thieves water it's the perfect kind of blend between photorealism and stylized art. It works great for the game, but Forza is definitely not that. But we all sort of, for a brief moment, thought maybe that's it. Of course not. In the last few years, Microsoft has always saved Rare for near the end of the show.
Yeah. One of the last 3 or 4 games they show.
It's part of the grand finale, I feel.
But the new Xbox One Slim, the S, or whatever it's called, the
S. Yeah.
I assume the S stands for slim.
I don't know. It's certainly slimming, vertical stripes.
But I was like, oh, that's cool.
It was really cool. 2 terabytes with the integrated power supply. I hate having that thing just hanging behind the machine all the time.
I know.
It's great.
And then, you had the design your own Xbox One controller, which I was like, I want to do that.
I did one of those already.
Oh, wow.
I have designed one. I made it black and red, Virtual Boy colors.
Because very nice. Because that's the kind of person you are.
That's our favorite color scheme on DK Vine. Hyle and I are unrepentant fans of the Virtual Boy.
It's a great system. Screw the haters. But... So yeah, and because it was like the cynicism had been lifted, but I really love the direction Phil Spencer has taken Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's still a lot of cynics out there about Xbox compared to Sony and Nintendo. Like, oh, they're interlopers. They're not true gaming. It's not a true gaming company.
It's such a strange attitude to have because, as we pointed out last year, Rare have been with Microsoft longer than they were with Nintendo.
But I mean, I agree with you, but
it's nothing to agree with. It's a fact.
It is. No. But I know what you're saying. Like, we bought an Xbox for Rare.
Yeah,
we bought an Xbox 360 for Rare.
Yeah,
but this is the first time that I can really say I'm an Xbox fan. I've been playing my Xbox One more than I have my Wii U, and I'm not slagging off on Nintendo. I love a lot of games on the Wii U, but I don't know. It's just it's weird to be in this place where I'm excited about the direction of this other company, this other gaming company.
Yeah, I've said this a number of times that I'm more interested in collaborative or cooperative games, but along that same line, when I do game, it's like I want to share my time with other people, and Nintendo just doesn't really have an infrastructure for that with the Wii U. So yeah. I find myself leaning more towards Xbox because they really it seems like one of their fundamental tenets in the last few years has been bringing together people through online experiences and
crossplay.
Crossplay.
Yeah. I mean, just hearing Phil Spencer talk about crossplay
and play anywhere. The thing where you can you buy the game on this and you get it on Windows 10 for free, and those systems can communicate.
Yeah, and it's
very cool.
It's looking out for the best interest of gamers, and it's not. There's no ulterior motive that you could read into it. I mean, they want to make money,
right?
And this is.
It's kind of trying to get around this tribalism idea. That, you get your system and that's your camp, and you have to defend your camp against everyone else. Like, I'm a Sony person. Therefore I have to hate Microsoft, and I have to hate Nintendo, or vice versa. Xbox doesn't seem interested in that at all.
Phil Spencer doesn't seem interested in that.
Yeah.
He's been openly supportive of Nintendo. Look at the Minecraft stuff on Nintendo. They don't...
They a few weeks back, or maybe a few months back, there was even... they said that they would love to get games, multiplayer titles that are on Sony to actually communicate with each other. So,
and I fully believe they would like for that to happen. The ball's in Sony's court, obviously.
Right. And Nintendo, for that matter, if Nintendo's infrastructure could support such a thing. No, that's not a slam on Nintendo. It's genuinely a conditional. I don't know if it can.
They have hamsters on wheels inside each system.
Those hamsters get tired.
They do.
No, it's just great to see that that they are fully embracing the entire games community and not just the insular bubble of Microsoft.
I'm jumping ahead a bit because we got to say a particular part of the conference for last, but the Project Scorpio announcement.
Scorpio.
Yeah, I love that it's named after my favorite Simpsons character.
Yeah. Ever see a man say goodbye to a shoe?
Yeah,
once.
You just had to do it. That's okay.
We've been quoting "You Never Move Twice" all week.
Yeah. but the I guess the tease of Project Scorpio at the end, and the whole, it's not backwards compatibility, it's forwards compatibility. I mean, what do you mean? I don't know.
Well, the line was, "No one gets left behind." No, it is backwards compatibility. Everything that you have on Xbox One can be played on the Scorpio.
Right.
That doesn't mean that everything on the Scorpio can be played on Xbox One. But that's impossible.
But then how are they not left behind then?
No, it means that you can always play it's backwards compatibility.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea.
All right, well, whatever.
It's out of the box BC.
Okay, but they refer to it as the Xbox One family of consoles. So it's interesting branding, and I want to see where they go with this.
Well, Hyle, we were watching this part of the press conference when our minds were a little preoccupied, so maybe I misread it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like they threw a grenade in the crowd, and we were still had ringing in our ears.
Yeah, my nervous system was still trying to assert itself after the flash bomb went off.
There's other cool games we saw real quick. We Happy Few really impressed me.
That was cool. It reminded me a lot of BioShock, just in the style of the first person sort of casually interacting with your environment, but that twist with the pills,
the happy pills.
The happy pills was really neat,
and the creepy clown mask everybody wore, and it took place in the mid '60s. So
yeah,
you have this, and it's this British pop vibe to it.
Yeah, I was loving just that first shot where he's working on the redactor, and it was like a restorer actually.
Well,
but he's
censoring the news.
He's censoring the news and then sending it back out into the world. I was cracking up at that.
These people live in this underground community where they're I don't know, isolated from the world.
Yeah,
but I don't know the plot, but. So anyway, but yeah, the piñata twist
with the rat,
which I think people in DK Vine were, snarkily saying, "Oh, it's a Viva Piñata game." No, it was just a hallucination.
It's Horstachio.
It was a rat. But I liked that. The ukulele, they showed the ukulele really quick.
I think it got two little shots in the indie reel, which was nice.
I got a little of applause in the audience too.
There was a couple of other things. I think we saw Recore again, which really interested me. That's being done by some Retro Studios developers. It reminded me actually a bit of Cameo in the way that you've sort of got your specialized task force of helpers. That one looks really cool. That's one that I'm sort of looking out for.
Yeah. There was also, I don't know if this came through in any streams of the actual event, but there was a lot of props and effects for some of these game reveals. Like they dropped snow on the crowd. Not us.
That was during the was it Dead Rising 4?
Dead Rising 4. It was Christmas themed, so they started dropping snow down in the middle for the Fan Fest people who got in down to the middle pit area.
So they all left covered in glitter.
Yeah, I'm so glad we were not down there.
It's better than having a 5,000-pound car dropped on them.
We were looking for the car because last year they randomly dropped a car, and we were looking up in the rafters for any cars or maybe a Sea of Thieves galleon.
Yeah,
that would have been cool. But alas, there was only glitter up in the rafters.
Yeah, I did like it was sort of a mix between very serious titles, and I know there's an audience for that, but it's not me. I always kind of look for a little glimmer of comedy, a little levity, a sense of humor in the titles. So
I don't like the post-apocalyptic, cynical hellscape. So it was nice to see a zombie game that didn't take itself too serious. I mean, I know the whole series hasn't taken itself seriously, but it's still refreshing to see because it's few and far between. Yeah,
the Christmas setting alone was really great. I don't like zombie games.
It's like Dawn of the Dead. It's just, commentary on consumerism and, commercialism.
Yeah.
And just,
Like, zombie games stress me out a lot, especially.
I hate zombies. I mean, I hate zombies for many reasons now, but,
I do like stuff like, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare because it has a sense of humor.
Well, I like that game. That game creeps me the fuck out, but I actually played it because it was so much fun.
Right. But this one looks kind of similar to that, where again, the whole Dead Rising series is apparently that way. It's never really been on my radar, but seeing it right there, it made me want to play it. I just loved the trailers and the games that seemed to either take an interesting approach or had a sense of humor. I feel in my mind that gave them bonus points. So yeah, those are some of the ones that stood out to me.
But anyway, enough of that. So. The Sea of Thieves cinematic trailer.
Ooh, that was lovely. We were all just so excited because at that point, Craig didn't come out for that at first. Craig Duncan from Off of Rare.
From Off of Rare.
Yes.
So
it was just a trailer. It said, just their standard message that was like, rating pending or whatever it was. And then it
Xbox One exclusive.
Xbox One exclusive. That's right. And then it went. I think it said Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive, didn't it?
I honestly don't remember. Yeah,
because I feel like on the show floor there were some actual PCs on some of the.
No, it's for Windows 10.
Yeah,
it said cross-play that came up during the gameplay trailer.
Right,
you might not have been paying attention to that part down on the lower portion of the screen.
I was distracted slightly.
Yeah, a little bit. So anyway, the cinematic trailer, it was like Matrix style bullet time where you had these still figures and the camera just panned around and. Got all sorts of imagery from a lot of stuff in the game we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it was sort of like this bullet time effect.
Stuff that wasn't going to be in the build at E3.
Yeah, it was. Well, you've all seen it. It was I think a great way of. And they had like 2 trailers to show, one after another. We didn't expect that, but the first one was an excellent way of showing what will be in the game and the kind of stuff that they're not yet prepared to show gameplay around. And then the second trailer, as we came to find out.
Do you want to talk about anything in the cinematic trailer?
We will. I'm contextualizing it. Give me a second. The second trailer was more about showing the actual gameplay that would be on the E3 show floor.
Right.
So, Hyle, I'll give the baby his bottle. Let's talk about the cinematic trailer.
Bottles. So it was a lot of it was about, I guess, the lore of the game, which I know a lot of people have been asking about. Well, last year obviously they hinted at a kraken, but
and we skeleton pirates.
And skeleton pirates, but I think a lot of people still were afraid it was just going to be a pirate simulation with a little dash of supernatural flavor to it.
Right.
This should have put those fears to rest. We had Well, I mean, first of all, you saw like gun combat. You saw a parrot, a cat, some animals.
You saw there was a horde of skeletons bursting in behind someone getting some treasure, and
with the Skelly Lord.
The Skelly Lord was there, and actually on top of, I didn't notice this, but later on in the show, Ryan Stevenson, the art director on Sea of Thieves, one of the statues they had at the booth was what they're calling the Gold Hoarder Skelly.
Yeah, I've heard Gold and Treasure Hoarder from different people, but I think it's Gold Hoarder now. That's the official name.
Yeah. So Ryan was telling me, he's in the trailer too, and I was like, no, it's the other one on the other side of the booth, the
Skelly Lord.
The Skelly Lord, and I don't know why I'm arguing with the art director on Sea of Thieves over an art asset in a trailer that he very well may have designed himself.
You know best, Chad. You always know best.
Yeah, right. I know when I want to contextualize something, and I know what was in the trailer.
We've been together all week now.
Yeah, we're at each other's throats. Tensions are running thin.
Is this the end of DK Vine?
Tune in next episode to find out if it exists. No, it's actually the treasure hoarder Skelly's head is on the top of a chest, and there's a transition that goes from the mermaids into his emerald eye, and so he actually is in the trailer, and then the camera pans around to show the skeletons bursting in.
He's got jewels in his eyes, and he's got a gold mouth. It's like he's blinged out. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And those statues are actually at E3 of the Skelly Lord and the Gold Hoarder.
They're huge. It's like unlike the Banjo and Kazooie, which were probably 4.5 feet tall or so. These are life-sized.
Life-size on like wood stages.
Yeah.
And
they're huge. And someone put actually the treasure hoarder Skelly. Someone put a lantern in his hand at the show today.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a rare person or if it was just a passerby.
Yeah,
but it was
an actual lantern that works.
It's a nice touch, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So anyway, there are mermaids in the cinematic trailer too, which I know a lot of people are asking about, and because they're male and female, so they're not all mermaids. I don't know the actual terminology yet.
Yeah, but, and it's interesting. They're sort of
bluish.
Yeah. It will be cool to see how you interact with those mermaids in the game.
Yeah. And we also saw a little taste of the Kraken.
Yeah, that very briefly at the end. But as we were watching it there in the stadium, it felt like, at the Galen Center, it felt like that Kraken bit was on for so much longer. But rewatching it on YouTube, it's only like 3 seconds, and then boom, it goes to the logo.
We were also distracted by the firing cannons in the Galen Center.
That's true, too. Yeah, they had these pyrotechnics going off in the room.
It felt like being at a concert, where with fireworks going off.
Yeah, and let's not bury the lead. The song that was on this trailer.
Chris Alcock penned.
Yes, yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. If you want to read the lyrics to it, check out the YouTube video on Rare's channel and turn on subtitles. The lyrics are gorgeous. It's really nice to see that not only is Chris Alcock a funny man who makes the yucks, he can actually pen a really moving musical piece.
Yeah, I thought he was a hack like us.
We think he's like us in so many respects. We just assumed.
And then he turns out he actually has talent, and it just, okay. I'll just drink some more then.
Yeah, and obviously that was paired with Robin Beanland's haunting, beautiful score.
Yeah, it was like a rendition of What Will You Do with a Drunken Sailor.
Yeah, but they changed it to make it like a really meaningful piece.
Yeah, it was actually haunting in a sense, but like in a good way, not like ghost.
Yeah, no, it was the spooky. It was, and it also kind of it gave the world of Sea of Thieves a bit more texture just by the tone of it.
It was about teamwork and camaraderie and let's sail together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
but there was a melancholy to it, which was a really neat layering of emotions.
Well, there's going to be danger out there at sea, but we'll be together.
Yeah, we shall sail together. That's the name of the piece. Really great, fantastic, and it was so much to take in all at once because it's just this dump of information and gorgeous music.
And it was funny because everything at this conference had leaked prior to the conference, except the Sea of Thieves and Rare stuff.
Yeah. It's insane considering they had 12, 14 of us out there at the studio 3 weeks prior, and yet Rare was the only ones that were locked down.
I think that was a big feather in their cap.
Yeah.
But
I'm hoping that St. Phil Spencer has taken notice of that and given Rare some kudos for living up to their word, saying that their fans are better than that they'll actually respect the studio.
Yeah. But so anyway, it was funny because there were a lot of rumors that morning that Rare was going to show off another new IP and a new game, and I don't know where this stuff comes from. Well, it comes from the internet, and you can't believe the internet.
Yeah, it's strange because we don't know what, if anything, Rare is working on next. All we saw at Rare, as far as production goes, was Sea of Thieves, but we didn't. It looked like development was in full force on Sea of Thieves, to the extent that it sort of enveloped the vast majority of the studio. So
it would have to. Yeah. It's a massive game.
Yeah, I
can't stress how massive it is.
It was a little silly, the rumors, as we saw them coming in. Like, we were thinking, if anything, it would be like a teaser trailer, if anything.
Or like we said on the preview episode of the Kongversation, maybe like an 8-bit throwback Battletoads.
Yeah. Or like an XBLA thing.
Or like a mobile. Yeah.
Do they still do XBLA, or are they, like, I don't know if the arcade branding is still there.
There's still games you only download, so
yeah,
I don't know what the official branding is. Let's just say it is.
Yeah, I mean, most of those things are considered ID at Xbox, the independent development, but...
Yeah, I mean, eShop and Virtual Console are still used interchangeably over Nintendo, so why not?
Yeah, let's just say... Anyway, along the lines of Jetpack Refueled, like, if anything, we were thinking that would be the scope of it, but of course there was nothing there. It's the Sea of Thieves show.
But the thing is, they weren't going to lead with Sea of Thieves and say, and then here's, Battletoads or something.
Right.
Anyway, Craig Duncan walks out in his spiffy green shoes. I love seeing what color shoes he's going to wear because he loves his...
Oh, Craig, what are you wearing? Who are you wearing?
Yeah, you're Joan Rivers. Yeah. That's not respectful, man. She's dead.
Oh, is she?
She's been dead for a couple years now.
Oh,
yeah.
I did not know that.
I think maybe last year she passed on.
Oh, does her daughter do the fashion shows now?
What was it?
Melissa Rivers?
Melissa Rivers, yeah. No, I think she still carries on the proud family tradition.
Of snarkily commenting on other people's clothing?
Yeah, of shaming celebrities because they have to be put in their place, Chad.
It's a higher calling. At any rate, it was nice to see that he was wearing a Goonies t-shirt up there on the stage.
It was a subtle Goonies t-shirt because you could see like the O.
You could see Uni.
Yeah. And I was like, what's Uni? Is this their new IP?
Yeah.
No, obviously it was a Goonies shirt. I pointed it out to you. I was like, he's wearing a Goonies shirt.
Because the angle we were standing at, Craig came out off to the right side of the stage, and we were on the right, so we only really saw him in profile, and I was looking at him with mine own eyes.
Yeah.
Hyle, you caught that on one of the monitors.
I was looking at both. I was looking all around. I was looking at the two monitors on the side. Mm-hmm. I was looking at the teleprompter type screen. This is the screen we looked at last year. And we saw Project Athena. And right before the Sea of Thieves reveal, and we were like, "Is that a code name for what is that? Is that their new name? Is that their new game?"
Turned out to be Sea of Thieves, of course.
Yeah. So I was like looking at this just to see what Craig was going to say because I like time travel, and
that's basically cheating at the E3 conference.
You don't get to do this from home, so I'm trying to enjoy the unique experience.
Yeah, your brain had a 1.5 second scoop on the rest of the world.
It was enough, though, to get the jump on you and Amir.
Oh my God, yeah. So we were sitting left to right. It was Dan, John from the Crow's Nest, Amir, you, and then me on the far right.
Right. So I had Amir on my left side, you on my right side. Mm-hmm. I was, stuck in the middle with you. And
yep.
So anyway, I see what's coming, and I probably go white at this point, and I'm just like, they're actually going to do this, and
because he starts talking about how we invited fans.
So this is the line I see before he says it, and I clutch Amir, I clutch you, and I'm like, guys, we're going to be in this. we're gonna be in this. We're gonna be in this, and I don't even think it registered with you because you were like trying to shut up, Hyle, and listen to Craig Duncan.
Right. And, well, yeah, because I wanted to hear him say it. I wanted to hear what he had to say, not what the teleprompter had to say.
I was telling you what he had to say just before he said it. I was doing you a service, Chad.
Oh, okay.
So I was freaking out, and and I was like, look at the screen, and you weren't looking at the screen. So
no, I wasn't. And then as he started talking about that, the only thing in my mind was I never in my wildest dreams thought they would do anything like this. I figured it was for YouTube.
I had a small inkling, but then I realized that was a character from Splatoon. I was like, get out of here, Splatoon.
Yeah,
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, we're tribalist gamers. You don't belong here.
No. So yeah, I mean, I had a mild hunch, but then I quickly dispelled of that notion because, come on, there's no way.
Yeah. And so the only thing I'm thinking is no. They wouldn't. Even when the video started up, I was thinking, nope, this is not happening. And then
the heads start popping up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen.
Yeah,
the picture-in-picture.
Oh my god! And then they start showing us walking around, trying to figure out. We start drinking and. Well, you saw the damn thing.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know already, we were in a Sea of Thieves gameplay trailer reveal at E3.
Oh my god!
At the Microsoft conference
on Spike TV streamed to millions of people online, and they're in the conference hall.
Just like Stripperella, we were on Spike TV.
Yes, that's lofty company.
Spike Lee is going to.
Was that Pamela Anderson's cartoon?
Created by Stan Lee.
Oh God, Stan Lee! It's Stan Lee, like from Marvel, not like Stanley, some generic.
No, Stanley the Bugman from off of Donkey Kong 3.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what he was getting up to these days.
Yeah,
Stripperella.
His career took a weird turn. So anyway. So yeah,
we were up there, and as were Amir and Dan, everyone else on the trip, and John was
John from the Crow's Nest.
Yes, because as I said, we didn't tell him anything about the trip while we were in line. We couldn't. We were under NDA, and we take that very seriously. And he said later on, we were talking to him, he was just like he was looking up there, and he looked to his left and looked to his right. And realized what was happening, and he was like, "Oh my god, you guys were there!"
Yeah. So, and it was funny because they got in all of us too, which was really sweet. Like, I'm glad they didn't skip anybody.
Even Mandy was in there.
Yeah. Jeff's wife.
Jeff's wife, Mandy.
Friends. So yeah, you were there first. I was like, well, there's Chad, and then I immediately followed you and then because we were like drinking and like trying to get to the ship.
Yeah, and I was thinking this was the best idea or something like that.
Yeah, because you are a filthy lush.
No, I can hold it though. That's the difference.
Not in Sea of Thieves, you can't.
Not in Sea of Thieves, no.
That's powerful stuff.
It sneaks up on you too in Sea of Thieves. You think you're okay after you empty a glass, and then only about 20 seconds later do you really start to metabolize it.
So, like, I think, like, some of the more popular lines are Amir's om nom 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 nom. I don't even know what the context for that was.
That was raising the capstan.
He was eating it?
He was loving it, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all that salt. It's like he's like a horse at a salt lick. The salty sea air. Yeah.
And you were the only one who got name dropped during the whole thing, Chad.
Yes. What was the line?
Well, what was your line?
I said, I can't see. Can someone tell me? Well, I don't remember really.
Raise the sails or something.
I can't see. Look over the water.
Or I don't know. I said, "Shut up, Chad. I'm looking at the water."
That's right, and that's been yelled at us several times as we've just been walking around Los Angeles.
Yeah, we. That night we were walking on the streets of LA and some guy just yelled it at us, and that's weird.
Yeah, we've essentially been.
It's also weird to be animated. Well, you say GIF, I say GIF.
Mm-hmm. Let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah, it's that's weird to see.
So you that's you firing your cannons, going
I think that's me getting hit with
Oh,
him.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
And then...
it looks like I'm having an orgasm, which is fine.
Which is fine.
Natural.
Yeah, it was... Rare has also been very good in the last few days about taking some of our quotes from the video and memifying them for us, turning them into image macros.
Which you loved back in the day.
Oh, yeah. No, it's really great that they're definitely doing what they can to memify us a little bit.
Oh, it's weird. I mean, it's great. It's surreal. It's
I think it's hilarious.
Andy Warhol was right about the 15 minutes thing. That's the way it feels out here.
That's this show for us, yeah. But we're always wearing, like, yesterday we wore our DK Vine our polos, but we've been today we wore Sea of Thieves shirts, and we wore our Sea of Thieves shirts later that night at the Microsoft Showcase, which we'll get to.
Well, we wore a different Sea of Thieves shirt.
Right, but people...
We're not wearing the same shirt day after day after day.
Well, no, we literally are the last 2 days.
No.
Yeah, polos, and then these that we're wearing right now.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same shirt.
We're wearing the same shirt. Oh, you mean we're not, like, each of us is not just re-wearing the shirts?
Yeah, we have more than one shirt.
I thought you meant twinsies.
No, we're wearing I'm saying we're not filthy degenerates who only own one article of clothing and get drenched in BO.
Right, I own 2 articles of clothing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You're high class.
Pants and shirt.
Oh. Anyway, so that's a weird argument about nothing.
Yeah, as you can tell, tensions are running thin.
Hey, it's LA, man. We got to get out. Yeah. We got to be like Kurt Russell. We have to escape from LA.
If I ever get out of here, thought of giving it all away. Oh, man, YouTube's going to flag this for copyrighted content now.
Paul McCartney is just personally listening to this, waiting for us to slip up.
Oh, yeah, I think they got it right there.
Spot on. So
I dabble.
Anyway, so yeah, I was shell-shocked. I like I said, I literally had a ringing in my ears, and it was just we couldn't focus on the rest of the show after that.
Yeah, no, I kind of went into like a fugue state shell shock thing.
But our phones were vibrating off the hook.
Yeah, about 15 seconds into the trailer, just me, Amir, Dan, Hyle are in our pockets. They're just going. You can hear. Like I was getting just texts and Skype messages and WhatsApp messages, Facebook posts. People were going fucking crazy.
Yeah. So it was nice. Everybody came out of the woodwork.
Yeah. Everyone who I've lost touch with in the last, 15 years.
No, I mean, we had a lot of cool ones. Jamie from Lobo Destroyo, Alistair, our friends. But
Andre Summers, who used to work with us on DK9, was hitting me on Facebook. It's been really great to kind of reconnect with some of these people because our ugly mugs were up on the screen.
Yeah.
I say ugly meaning me and Hyle. The rest of the folks are quite attractive.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was fun, and then we wanted to check out the forum reaction because what are you guys thinking?
Yeah,
it was never maybe in our wildest dreams, but never in our mild dreams did we ever think that would ever happen.
We later found out that. So before the conference, a few folks, I think Adam, Joe Neat, and John McMurtry, he's one of the video guys at Rare, they had come by and just kind of yelled at us and said hi, and we were like, hey, it was kind of awkward because we were 3 rows back, so they didn't really want to shout over anyone, so they said, we'll see you afterwards. We later found out that was recon so that they could find out where we were sitting because they actually were recording our reactions to the trailer.
Now they claim you cried.
I may have. Joe actually claimed that Joe Neat in an interview that he did with I think IGN.
Yeah.
And I think he might have called me by name. I haven't watched it. There's just been too much content this week, but I might have. I don't know.
Hey,
they have the video.
I believe his exact quote was Chad was sobbing like a little bitch.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, Joe. So you've painted a lush picture of that event.
I might have been lying to you just now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Anyway, I feel like we're talking about ourselves, which is weird. What do you want us to say? Like, this has just been
it's insane,
otherworldly.
It's an honor that Rare thought enough of our reaction to do that, but it was also hilarious after we left. Because, of course, the internet got an internet. You've got to have that knee-jerk, snarky cynicism, or it wouldn't be a games industry, would it? We all started getting on social media as we were walking the...
Well, I know Amir and Dan were checking out NeoGAF because they're far braver than we are.
That's right. And we were also checking out YouTube comments and everything as we were moving from the Galen Center to pick up our media badges over at the Los Angeles Convention Center, which is about a 1.5 mile, 2 mile walk, something like that.
Which we didn't mind. We had a lot of adrenaline at that point.
Yeah, suffice to say.
We were strutting just a bit.
Yeah. Staying Alive was playing in the background.
Right, right. John Travolta looks out from a bathhouse. Well, what's happening?
He's like, that's my move. I would later see a really solid strut from Adam Park. He's a natural born strutter.
He is. He is one confident too, but he deserves to be confident.
Yeah. He's got a lot of charisma backing that confidence.
We shouldn't be feeding his ego, though.
I don't think we could feed it any more than we've already been feeding it. This is a drop in the bucket.
I'm worried, though. I'm worried he'll just burst at one point. There'll be pieces of Adam Park all over.
Adam, don't burst. We love you too much. Now he's going to burst because I said that.
Yeah. Should I make kissy noises?
Adam Park. So anyway, we were checking all this, and people started talking about how, I'm so pissed off at these fake actors.
Well, there were positive comments.
Oh, there were lots of positive comments.
Oh, this game looks really fun. Like there was genuine optimism, right. and people weren't looking to just tear it apart because they have no joy in their life.
But people were also doing that. That's what we were laughing at, because we just knowing the fact that that's obviously the furthest thing from the truth for us, and it's the kind of thing where
fake actors,
fake actors, paid advertisement, Let's Players, YouTube stars, YouTube celebrities. You can look at the hits on our YouTube videos to know that we are not YouTube celebrities.
No, we are not even YouTube mild acquaintances.
But no, it was something that we could laugh at, because we know that if anyone took even 30 seconds to look it up, they would realize that Rare ran a very public Sea of Thieves contest, and that everyone who was not a contest winner has been in the fan community for years and years.
That would require work,
right? And
not just blanket judgments like all the good ones that Rare left.
Yeah,
or
it's who has time for work when you got to be first.
You've got to quickly form an opinion and then believe it for the rest of your life.
Right,
that's the internet.
Yep. There's no room on the internet to admit when you've been wrong.
We have the totality of human history at our fingertips.
Yeah.
But why bother?
I better be first. Anyway, that's why we thought it was hilarious, because we knew as the days went on and even the hours went on, the truth would come out.
I guess it has. Rare got out in front of it.
They totally did. Rare
really
has been
sweet.
So
really defensive.
Yeah, that's something that's been great.
Clear the record. We're honored, and obviously this is means so much to us. But we didn't ask for this. We didn't slip them a 20 and say, "Hey, can you get us an easy trailer?"
I mean, we had no idea that they were going to use our video in this way. I mean, Hyle had his Splatoon inkling, but it was shocking, and they did thrust us all into the limelight, but they upheld the other side of that coin, which was protecting us when the nastier elements of the internet reared their inevitable heads.
We've had a share of hecklers, but I don't think ever on that scale. So
right.
It was.
And also, we said on our other conversation that we were in a WhatsApp chat with everyone else on the trip, and it was great to see that Hyle and I have been doing this for a long time, so we have pretty thick skin on the internet. But there were a lot of people on the trip who are new to this world, and they were all having the same reaction that we were having. They were just taking it in stride. They thought it was hilarious. So I was really glad to see that as well.
Yeah. And like I said, overall, the opinions were positive, and I think it was a fun way to show off the gameplay because the way you play it, the interaction with other people, that is, I think, a key component of Sea of Thieves, and that doesn't come across in just static gameplay footage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand people were upset. We were maybe like taking their attention away from the actual footage, but
that's the experience of playing the game.
Yeah, and if Rare is looking to sell it in a quick 90-second chunk, then I can think of no better way. So, and I'm not just saying that because I was in it.
But obviously it paid off for them in dividends. People have ultimately come around and really realized as they've been playing the game.
Well, that's the thing. E3 hadn't actually opened its doors yet, so people hadn't played the game, and word of mouth couldn't spread. Mm-hmm. So what looked like to some as a craven, calculated,
Craven?
Well, like, let's bring in fake actors and have them fake enthusiastic, because nobody who plays a game is that enthusiastic.
Yeah. You know what's funny? We were talking to some of the video editing team, John McMurtry and John McFarlane, and they were what?
I think it's so hilarious that the two guys who work together are both Johns.
Yeah, Johns. Yeah. Are they from Scotland?
John McFarlane is Scottish.
They're okay. Yeah, they're
at
both,
least. Yeah,
they both went to school together. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I would assume. Anyway, they were saying that when they were cutting it together from all of the footage on our 3 play sessions, they actually had to tone it down a bit because our reactions were so over the top that they would seem fake.
But here's the thing: like, we knew we were being filmed, but we weren't thinking about it.
No, we were just playing the game
because they were filming us because they wanted to gauge our reactions for the game. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like we thought this is going to be used in a trailer or any footage that was ever going to be released outside of their internal review.
Yeah.
So we weren't hamming it up or anything. We were just legitimately like giddy playing the game, and that's a word I've used before out here talking about the game because it's just this is a joyous experience.
I think the best proof that those reactions were genuine has been hanging around the Rare booth, as we've been doing a lot. They're having trouble kicking us out. Well, actually, they have no interest in kicking us out. They've been so accommodating.
Oh, I was going to say they brought out the water mister and just tried to squirt it in our face a few times. No, bad Chad, bad Hyle.
And like my cat does when I bring out the water squirter, we just started licking it off our bodies.
Yeah, it's hot in there,
I can't get my cat to do anything. He's untrainable.
It's called having a cat, Chad.
I guess, yeah. It's a Faustian bargain, this cat ownership. But anyway, as we've been hanging around the booth, every play session has people just screaming and hollering and loving it, laughing as their ship is sinking,
laughing as they fail.
Yeah, which is exactly what we were doing.
I don't think in a final build I'm going to laugh as my ship sinks. I'm going to be pissed.
You're going to be on the red part of the wheel of human emotion.
Yes. For more on that, see our 2-parter episode about our week at Rare.
And then our upcoming interview with, should we tease that a bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to, Adam Park hooked us up. We got a behind closed doors interview.
He parked us right in front of them.
Yeah, with Greg Mayles, Craig Duncan, and Joe Neat to talk about the game. And we went way over the allotted time, but thankfully we were the very last ones of the day, so they were all too gracious and allowed us to continue with it. And John McMurtry actually shot some. He was one of our cameramen. The other cameraman was a couch. But he got some close-up shots of the thing so we can cut it together and make it look a little more professional. That Rare are so awesome to us.
Yeah, it's still like just a whirlwind of I don't even know feeling. So yeah,
we got to the convention hall. We actually
we went to the back to the Galen Center that night.
Well, I was just going to say we got there.
Oh yeah,
we got our passes. We crossed paths with Adam Park and Pete Hentz. And
Mike Chapman.
Mike Chapman showed up as well, and then all of a sudden there was a huge crowd of Rare folks, and they took the 5 of us out to lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that.
No, not at all. We went to a seafood restaurant with a huge contingent of Rare employees.
If you want to know why this episode is so late, there you go. It's Rare's fault.
They kept us out late. We would have gone back to the hotel room to record this one, but then we were
going to bring Amir and Dan and John into it if we could, but
then we wouldn't have got to tell you about how we went to lunch with them.
Yeah, and we went to lunch with them, and so we had to split into 2 booths, and so it was Chad, John, and Dan, I believe, on one side, and then me sitting between Joe Neat and Greg Males.
That must have been a thrill for you.
Well, the thing is, we had dinner with Rare several times over in Twycross, so by then it was just like, okay, another one.
Yeah.
So,
another one of these things.
No. So it was still, but it was like, I can't believe this is happening again and so soon.
It was so fun. The whole time I'm like sort of vicariously reliving last year through John, because he was having the same reaction. He was like, we were like, so how are you holding up right now, John? And he was like, I can't believe this is happening.
He was a bit better than us because we were so apologetic last year. Yeah. We just kept saying, oh, we're taking up all your time. We're pieces of shit. I'm sorry.
We're not worthy.
Yeah. Oh, Greg, you have some dirt on your shoes. Let me lick that off for you.
No, but they've always been so. It sounds underwhelming to say that they're nice, but that's the word that applies. They are such nice people.
Super nice.
Yeah.
You can add another word to it.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, we could throw adjectives on here. Yeah,
I like adjectives.
Yeah,
they make everything better.
No, actually, what is a modifier to an adjective? Is that a?
I'm the English major, but I don't know.
You don't know that one?
I don't care.
I know modifier to a noun is an adjective. Modifier to a verb is an adverb. What is an adjective?
What's the deal with the English language? Yeah. So anyway,
before E, except after C, except after every time it's not.
No, just give me a blank piece of paper. I'll write something. I'll figure it out. But don't let me define it.
All right.
So anyway, so we had a long lunch, and then we just like milled around the sidewalk and just chatted with people. Yeah. And more people showed up. Andy and Shelley Preston from the Sea of Thieves team showed up.
Yeah.
Robin Beeland appeared out of nowhere.
Robin came out while we were at the restaurant. The Johns and Cameron Thomas showed up and ate at a booth like across from us.
Yeah, that's right. And we saw Cameron, and for a lot of them, this was their first E3.
Yeah.
So that was really cool that they got. I mean, obviously they have a completely different experience than we do, considering they're on the inside and having to show off the game, get ready and meet with Microsoft people, but it's still really cool, to see their enthusiasm. And this was before E3 had even officially opened up, so they hadn't even shown off the game to the public yet.
Right. So let's skip forward a bit to the event that night.
Yeah. So the Xbox Media Showcase that we somehow got into. So this is the party for the beautiful people. We went to this last year, and it was at the Matrix nightclub, the gothic vampire nightclub.
Oh yeah, where all the werewolves were, and the
Merovingian lived with Monica
Reyes from off of X-Files.
No. Whatever.
You're trying to describe the plot of The Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah, and it's the actors' names that I'm stumbling up on. So anyway, but we went there last year and we played Rare Replay a whole bunch. That's where we first met Adam Park and Craig Duncan and some of the others. But
that was when we first ambushed Craig with a Which Brothers Bear is Best.
That's how we introduced ourselves. Yeah. And yet he still somehow talks to us.
It's incredible.
So anyway. But this time it was at the Galen Center, and so we were right down where the Xbox stage was, in a pit, where they dropped all the glitter, and there's still glitter dropping from the ceiling.
Right, it was still coming down. I guess they every time the air conditioner shifts, it just shakes a few more flakes loose.
Must be a nightmare.
It was a much better setup though than the one last year. I think it was much more open,
a lot more elbow room.
Yeah,
and there was still the VIP area, but I didn't see any celebrities up there.
No, but they had a huge bar right in the middle, and then there were sections for indie games, which I got to spend some time over there. And then indie developers are really nice. They're so passionate about just showing you their game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they had one of those booths where you could customize your own Xbox controller. As I said, I made my Virtual Boy one. They had Minecraft. I got you on Minecraft.
This was after a few drinks in, because it's an open bar, so drink as much as you want.
Right. At first, they didn't have rum, because we wanted to drink on theme.
Right, and we're like, how do you... And we complained to Rare, it was like, where's the rum? And then shortly after, they found rum.
I don't know if they were the ones that found it, but the bar certainly did.
I'm going to say it was Rare.
For sure.
Because they don't normally have a bar in the Galen Center, so where did they get the rum?
Man, Adam is some producer.
Or a hard alcoholic, and we should be worried about him. Getting him some help.
I was like, "Oh, you need rum? I'll go back to my room."
it's in my pants right here.
Yeah. So they had Bacardi, and so as the night wore on, I was alternating beers and rum and cokes.
And I don't drink as much as Chad, so I was a little tipsy, and he let me. I basically agreed to play Minecraft out of my. Inebriation.
Yeah.
So,
the strange thing was though I'm a Minecraft fan as listeners would know.
Really? What? Shocking.
This year, so I play Minecraft on my Mac, which is it's the Mac PC version. But the big push this year was bringing some of the features from Mac PC over to the Windows 10 and Pocket editions, namely Minecraft Realms. And those have very different control schemes that I am in no way familiar with. So when I was trying to walk Hyle through it, I was struggling to answer even the simplest questions about, like, how do you access your inventory?
And because of that, I drowned. I didn't even know you could drown in Minecraft.
We did get to the Nether, and we created a big pathway over to an island, but then ultimately I think we both fell in the lava because a gas started shooting us, and there was no sound, so we couldn't even hear it coming for us.
And apparently the other people in the game world were back in Seattle, so...
That's Minecraft Realms. That's what they were showing off, that kind of shared server. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I played Minecraft and I got up and I was like, all right.
I also played a bit of Killer Instinct with one of the developers. I can't remember his name. Dan and Amir told it to me.
Fulgor?
It was Fulgor. Yeah, he was wearing the mask. He had the mask from
Nintendo Power catalog. Yeah.
Yep. So Fulgor was showing me some hot tips and tricks. I didn't even have to call the hotline. But I basically there was a lull at the KI booth. So I walked over and I said, I am a huge Rare fan, and this is my secret shame that I have my brain will not let me play these combo-based fighting games. Can you teach me, please? I am at your mercy. And the guy spent like 25, 30 minutes walking. I picked Rash. He picked General Rog or whoever the new character.
Rom.
From
Rahm Emanuel from off of Chicago.
Yes. President Obama's former chief of staff.
That Josh Lyman from off of The West Wing is based on.
Yes, missing a finger, which rendered him mute. I think was
great Obama line.
Yeah, it's actually a solid line.
He's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy. He has speechwriters, but he's a funny guy.
He's got great delivery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very dry. I like that about Obama. He has a rare sense of humor.
He should work for Rare. I mean, he's going to need a job in a few months.
That's true. Rare. You are hiring. I see your tweets all the time.
He would be a good fit for the community team, I think.
Yeah, and I think the Secret Service would complement Rare's security pretty well.
Actually, presidents lose Secret Service protection now. Like, I think Bill Clinton was the last one to have full-time Secret Service protection.
Wow, that's a mistake.
It will be, hopefully not.
Oh my God, that's a terrible idea. Secret Service, no.
So yeah, it's got to be Rare security.
All right,
the ones who chased you off that one time.
Well, if you're up to the challenge, Rare, yeah.
Please take care of Obama for us.
Just put him up in an office with Alcock, and they'll write the funniest material that you could hope for.
Obama Alcock 2020.
Yeah,
I like it.
Anyway, God, how did we get on that? What was I talking about?
We're weirdos.
Killer Instinct was it was really great because he walked me through it. He taught me about how to do the quarter turn moves and what how you combo between kicks and punches and how you activate a combo.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you one day teach me?
Probably not, unless I spend some time kind of relearning what I learned.
I'll ask Amir or Dan. That's fine.
That's your best bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get on Xbox Live with them and figure it out.
They'll just assault me, and I'm easy prey to them.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really great. Just kind of moving around, since there weren't lines as there are in the show floor, or there were, but there were maybe 3-4 people.
It's a closed event.
It's a closed event, so we actually got to spend some time with more of the games that I'm not going to stand in a line for 3 hours to play a game when I could spend those 3 hours hanging out with Rare. So it limits a lot of the stuff that we get to see at E3, unfortunately. So I love having access to that event.
Well, also, we're DK Vine, so we have a very exclusive focus, Rare, Playtonic, and whatever Nintendo's producing with monkeys in it. So, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, that was, but then, of course, I mean, that's once again, burying the lead, Sea of Thieves.
We played a shit ton of Sea of Thieves that night, and we watched other people play too for the first time.
Yeah. The first time we crewed up, though, you know, we in our video about the Sea of Thieves, we went through some of the sort of scenarios, the narratives that sort of unraveled as we were
that generate as you play the game. Yeah, depending on who you play it with.
We had one. On our first play session, which was they expanded the Crews of 4 to Crews of 5 for
E3 because they wanted to make sure somebody from Rare or somebody well versed with the game could kind of help out the newbies.
Yeah,
just in case.
Right, but since you know the 4 of us out of the 5 had already played the game, they basically let me, Hyle, Dan, Amir, and John, who
hasn't played the game.
This was his first experience with Sea of Thieves after having run the Sea of Thieves fan site for so many months. We all got on a crew together, and got to give it a go.
And you, myself, and Dan have been on crews before, so
that's right.
This is our first time with Amir, or at least my first time with Amir.
Yeah, we were with Rodrigo previously.
Yeah.
At first thing we did, I think we went out to the ocean and we drank, we sort of guided John, not guided, but sort of we used the Socratic method to help John figure out some of the mechanics because we didn't want to step on that experience. Then we started exploring an island, and it was what we came to find out. It was called Devil's Ridge.
Right, and we found out we can say that name. We got clearance because it's also on the Sea of Thieves website right now. They use the name they set up the Sea of Thieves forum on the website, and they mentioned Devil's Ridge in the link to the forum.
Yeah.
So
one of the cool things that we found out in talking with Mike Chapman, which is it's an extremely rare approach to designing these islands, is that they come up with the name first, something memorable and evocative, because they want all of these places to have an identity.
And they have names.
Yeah, they all have names, and then they kind of have a log line that describes like what a player could do on the island, and then and only then do they design it. And the log line for Devil's Ridge is that it has this huge ridge poking out of the island, this rock outcropping that if you jump off of it, you will land in the water.
And you know, we haven't seen much of the islands during E3 gameplay because most people are, you know, they only have so much time with it, and it's about getting on a ship and learning how to sail.
Yeah.
So, but because we played the game, we really spent some time on this island.
Right.
And the islands they play a huge part in the game, so don't worry. There's lots of island exploration awaiting you if that's what you want to do.
Right. So what happened is this is a huge island, and we wanted to get up to that top ridge just to get to take in the vista. And we kept finding these little pathways. We would all sort of split up and then collect ourselves as we would find little paths. Say, no, go right over here, and then we would find our way up and up and up. And finally, the 5 of us got to the peak of Devil's Ridge. And when we looked out over the ocean, in the distance, we saw the other 2 crews, not too far off the island, engaged in ship battles.
There was 15 people, so 3 crews essentially in the same game world.
Right. And we had docked our ship on the other side of the island, so they couldn't actually see it. No one was trying to attack us. They were focused on each other.
Right.
In this build, unlike the one that we played at Rare, they've added musical instruments. So you, I guess, randomly have either a hurdy-gurdy or a concertina.
Yes.
So we got up there on the ridge and started playing our instruments for the battle that was going on below.
And the more people join in, the fuller the song is.
Right. So, it sounds kind of very weak at first when it's just like someone playing a concertina, the accordion type instrument, but then it fleshes out, and it actually was Ride of the Valkyries.
Yeah, public domain, but it's a Robin Beanland version of Ride of the Valkyries. How cool is that?
Yeah, and so essentially what we were doing was providing a soundtrack to this battle that was happening down below.
I don't know if they could hear us or not.
No, they couldn't. It's like a proximity thing, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, I didn't know. I mean, we were producing a lot of sound. It was carrying out over, we were up on a cliff. Maybe they heard an inkling of it.
Perhaps.
Not the Splatoon inkling, but...
I have noticed that even on your own crew, the music fades as you get further away from the person.
Okay. So. But still, it was a cool thought that had they been a little bit closer, we would have been providing the soundtrack to their battle. And I really hope they could see us. They looked out and just saw 5 pirates,
little dots on this ridge.
Yeah.
So we waited until a winter emerged and one of the boats sank. And no, did we not? I thought we. Oh no, they were
winter emerged.
A winter.
Oh, I was like, is this a Game of Thrones reference that I don't get? Is this a spoiler?
Yeah, I'm spoiling it all. Winter comes.
And the ships sink.
Yeah, the tagline that the show's had the entire time. It's a spoiler. Everything's a spoiler with Game of Thrones. We waited until a winter emerged in this battle, and then we all jumped off of Devil's Ridge into the water because we decided we just wanted to kind of screw with them a little bit. So there's no reason for this.
At this point, we were a little bit more experienced than anybody else, so we just decided to be dicks.
Yeah, so most of these people... All of the people, except for the 4 of us, including they had never played it. John had never played it. The other 10 people had never played it. And we just jumped off Devil's Ridge, swam. We clicked L3 to swim faster, and we told John to do it as well. So we all kind of like it was like we were sort of human sharks, just like following the ship. And eventually we got to the ladder, and we climbed up, and we just. We were just giggling this whole time. We lowered their anchor, raised their sails so they couldn't move, and jumped back off, just laughing our asses off.
Which I would later find out during playing at E3 itself that I just stayed on somebody's ship and just kept continually lowered their anchor. They would have to raise it.
That was so terrible.
And then I would lower it.
It takes so much more time to raise it than to lower it.
I know. And I was standing there, and whoever the rare person on their team was like, he's not on our crew. He's screwing with us. Raise the anchor. And then I would lower it.
Can you imagine how much fun that was already like the most fun in the world? And we swam back to the beach just laughing. But imagine that experience with hand-to-hand combat.
Oh my god!
Like we would have boarded their ship, and we would have had to fight them like three or four of us fending them off while someone else lowered the anchor.
Right, they can't do much in the E3 build except to watch in horror as somebody sabotages them. But in the final game, as hinted in the cinematic trailer and in the fan pack download that's available,
and in the E3 2015 trailer, remember they had that mutiny going on.
Yeah. So but they've released the images of the blunderbuss in the fan pack download. So K-Rool fans, there you go. There's a blunderbuss. I know how that's most of you learned of the blunderbuss and what that is.
I wonder if it will shoot red, blue, and purple clouds.
Maybe we can talk to Greg.
Yes, because that would make sense within the world of Sea of Thieves.
We got him a speed dial right here. Hey, Greg, you remember Captain K-Rool? You did that game. Yeah, put those clouds in the game.
We love the clouds, Greg. That will color that experience even more once combat is introduced. It's like
it's gonna be a lot more strategy involved.
Yeah.
Besides, and a lot more penalties for being an unrepentant asshole like we've been.
But it was just I was just realizing the fact that that what we did was utterly inconsequential, and it took so much effort for us to swim all the way there just to do that and lower their anchor and raise their sails, and we jumped off immediately just giggling like schoolgirls.
It's so much fun, and it's so much fun to do it with people Like, we knew Dan and Amir, and we got to know John all day, so it was just this sense of bonding. And
so great.
Yeah, so... I mean, anything else you want to talk about the Galen Center before we kind of wrap this episode up?
No, it was just it was a crazy day, but
one of the most surreal days of my life, and this is 3 weeks after we had been to Rare, so it's pretty hard. Like, we were going into this E3 like. We were keeping up appearances, but for us, it was kind of like coming down from a high that we couldn't talk about yet.
Yeah.
So we weren't really looking forward to E3 quite as much. Obviously, we wanted to see everybody from Rare and play Sea of Thieves and see what they had cooked up for the trailer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we were like, well, we had our big moment 3 weeks ago.
They can't top it.
And it's so weird that, like, if not topping, they matched it.
It was, and you know, it wasn't just like they threw us out to the wolves to be their promotional material, and then they're like, well, that's the end of that relationship. They've gone so far out of their way to make us feel like part of the team all E3 long. Yeah. It's
so weird.
It's been amazing, and we've
had to correct people a few times that we don't work for Rare, which
that's a little strange too. I'm just completely over the moon with the experience we've had with Rare.
The moon is really beautiful in the game too.
It's gorgeous.
The full moon,
as is the aurora,
as is the sun.
Yeah, everything.
The North Star.
Basically the whole game is beautiful.
Yeah, the North Star is in the game.
It is. Yes, I know.
I'm just impressed by that. Anyway,
okay. So. you keep underscoring this dot in the sky. It's an impressive dot, but you seem fixated.
The sun is also a star. Did you know that?
What? That doesn't make any sense.
So anyway, we left the Galen Center and several drinks deep at that point. And luckily, E3 didn't open till noon the next day, so we could actually get some fucking sleep for the first time in days.
Yeah, I think I got 6 hours. Oh, it was wonderful.
I literally shut my eyes. It's the deepest sleep I've had in years because I'm an insomniac, so I don't sleep often or well when I do.
Yeah,
and
we'd also been drinking, so
just add it up. Do the math, Chad.
Yeah. Do the maths.
Yeah.
We've spent enough time in the UK recently.
Is that what British Kevin Callahan would say?
He would pluralize it.
Yeah. In Minnesota, England. So anyway, we were working away from the Galen Center, and somebody was like shouting out our line. You know, the shut up, Chad.
Shut up, Chad. Yeah, I was told to shut up again.
Yes, so
I'll take it. Why not?
Came back, just passed out, and that was the end of Microsoft Monday for us. And
another Microsoft Monday.
We already made that Bengals joke. Like,
did we do that last year?
We did. Well, and we
probably
did the preview episode too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. All right. How can we work Hazy Shade of Winter into this?
Well, we already mentioned winter, but that's a Game of Thrones spoiler, so let's avoid it. But
all right.
We have a lot more anecdotes and stories to share, not only on the Kongversation, upcoming episode of the Kongversation, but just our YouTube channel. We've got interviews, we've got footage. Just check it out because a lot's going up. And if you consider yourself a Rare fan, a past Rare fan who has lapsed a little bit, I really hope you check it out because we're not like, I don't want to sound like we're shilling for the company because we're not. We're genuinely fans of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And we got to kind of see it from the inside, and we have a perspective that we want to share with the rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, we're not just sycophants. Like when we see something that
we're sycophants plus so much more.
We're super sycophants. No, when we see
nice adjective use, Chad.
Thank you, or whatever the hell that part of speech is called. When we see something we don't agree with or we think is in poor taste, we call it out, and that has. For the last 2 years that we've been hanging out with Rare and playing their game. I guess one. I was thinking it was.
Do the maths, Chad.
I'm bad at the maths. Since we've been coming to E3 and really getting to know the people at Rare, we've had no reason to call out anything. It's been universally positive.
And I understand this is hard to understand in the cynical realm of the internet, but everybody at Rare is so nice, and it's not fake. It's genuine. They're all such honestly like sweet people, and
right.
So we just want everybody to know Rare's in such good hands right now. But not only that, I mean, it doesn't even matter what their intentions are.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves is one of the most fun experiences. I mean, I spoiler alert, I told St. Phil Spencer that it's the most fun I've ever had playing a video game. And I'm including all of Rare's past games in that category.
You've played a few games before, haven't you?
I have. I played a few Rare games, a few Greg Mails games, and I can't remember like laughing and just being so happy playing a game and wanting to get back to the game.
Right.
Like I don't have much time to play games anymore. And when I do, it's sometimes it's a chore. It's almost like, I guess I should play this. I'm kind of having fun. Look at the time. I got to turn this off. This is not going to be that game. This is going to be a game I'm going to play into the wee hours of the night if Michelle lets me.
You need to get Michelle on your crew. That's how you do it.
Oh, yeah.
I've already thought about this. Like, I'm either going to get an S or I'm probably going to get a dedicated Windows 10 box so that I can. Oh shit! I was going to use my PC to help me stream Minecraft out, but if it's Windows 10, it won't communicate with the Mac PC version. I'll sort all this out.
You just have to. At this point, Microsoft's done so much for you. You got to throw out your Mac.
No, I can't. I love it.
Windows 10, babies. All right. Anyway, so yeah. So I just hope we can let people know, like, yeah, Rare is okay. You can disagree with us now. We're gonna do everything we can to change your mind. Now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We're not shills. We're not fake YouTube actors. We're not paid YouTube celebrities. We are just genuine fans who are in love with a genuine game from a genuine company.
We've always been Rare fans.
Yeah.
And apologies, but we still are Rare fans. And
don't apologize for that.
No, well, it's the internet. You have to always be apologetic, or else you're, whatever.
Wait, no one apologizes on the internet.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we're Rare fans. Deal with it.
This has been a File 2 production.
Okay, so the sail's blocking my vision, so you're gonna need to tell me where to steer.
I'm looking at the water, Chad. Shut up.